Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Kraken Packs video. I am your host, MrBevers. That's right, we are here with Ravnica Allegiances, or Allegiance, I should say. That's right, if you guys were ready for these guilds, here they are. Here they are. I hope everyone's ready for release weekend. Starts today. Alright, let's get right into things. Now, I don't know what I'm looking for or what I'm hoping to pull. But I haven't really watched anybody else open any up yet because I was away at PAX last weekend, and so when people started opening them all up last weekend, I was kind of like, oh, I guess I've missed the bus on getting out with the initial wave of people opening the products. Well, these things happen, but that's okay. We still have to open these 6 boxes, so we're going to do it. All right. First uncommon, Sharktocrab. Good old Sharktocrab. Spire Mangler. Carnival and Carnage. And our first rare is a Bedeck and Bedazzle. With, of course, a Gruul Guildgate. Ooh, that's a kind of funky Thopter token. Neat. I'm glad that they printed new Thopter tokens, finally. They were using those Kaladesh Thopters for quite a while. Enraged Ceratok. Smelt Ward Ingus. Swirling Torrent, and Dovin Grand Arbiter. There he is, our first walker. I'll take it. Sitting at about the $12 mark right now. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's no Domri, but that's okay. That's okay. I like walkers, so I will take it. First Mythic of the box, 2 packs in, and we've got a walker. All right. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Ministrant of Obligation. Mortify, very good removal spell. Incubation Incongruity. And Guardian Project. There you go. Little draw card mechanic for Commander. Right? That card's very good for Commander, isn't it? Right? Because you can only have 1 copy of everything. I think that's accurate. What do we got here? All right. We have Depose and Deploy. We've got Spirit of the Spires. We've got Fireblade Artist. Man, he looks mean. And Electro Dominance. All right, that's a pretty good rare. It's sitting in, what, like the $5 to $6 range, somewhere in there. And we got a foil Gruul Locket. Look at that. Our first foil, too. Another Azorius Guildgate. Wait, do we have 1 of each gate so far? I think we do. I mean, like, we're still missing 1 gate, right? But we have no duplicates. We have Gruul, Rakdos, Simic, and Azorius. So now we just need Orzhov, right? All right, let's see. I guess we can fast forward a bit to the uncommons here. Orzhov Racketeers. Cavalcade of Calamity. Oh my goodness. Knight of the Last Breath, and Hydrocrassus. All right, I'll take it. There you go. That's a good mythic to hit. Wow. And we did. So that's interesting. I don't know if this is something we're going to have to worry about. I mean, it's not really having to worry about per se, but like, I've gone down the first row from top to bottom, and we've hit 1 of each Guildgate. So if that's the case, they're not really randomized. So let's see. What was the first Guildgate we opened? Gruul. So if we hit Gruul again now, that'll be awkward, won't it? Now, the Guildgates don't really matter per se, but I mean, like, if you're building, like, a sealed or a draft, right? If you go every 5 packs, you know you're going to get the same Guildgate in every pack, so you know you can, fix for those colors, right? Which is kind of interesting. Gate Colossus. Cavalcade of Calamity. Forbidding Spirit, and Growth Chamber Guardian. All right, another like what, $4 or $5 rare there, and a Simic Guildgate. So no, there is no pattern We just happened to hit one of each moving down the first row, which is kind of weird. It's still kind of weird, but you know. Screaming Shield. Ah! Gah! Galloping Lizrog. Clan Guildmage. And a Pestilent Spirit. If you didn't see me stream during the early access streamer event, I made a deck built around this card, and it was fun and hilarious. It wasn't like good by any means, but it was fun. It was fun and hilarious. That's for sure. And I don't think that's actually... We'll put it over here. We'll put it over here for now. What do we got here? Rakdos Firewheel. Firewheel, I should say. Scrabbling Claws. Gatebreaker Ram. And Priest of Forgotten Gods. It's like a $2 rare. And then another Simic Guildgate. So there's definitely no pattern to the Guildgates, which is good. We just got like a weird scenario of the first 5 packs we opened had one of each, which, you know, can happen. It absolutely can happen. There's just, I was more worried. I was like, uh-oh. Skatewing Spy. Flames of the Razeboar. Terramander. And Tome of the Guild Pact. An artifact that's not super exciting. Orzhov Guildgate and Frog Lizard. It's an interesting tome, though. I mean, it makes a mana of any color, and when you cast multicolor spells, you draw cards, which is pretty good when you think about it. We've got a Bullrack Clan Crusher, Light Up the Stage, Forbidding Spirit, and Deputy of Detention. It's sitting at like the $2-3 mark somewhere in there. Another Simic Guildgate. Alright, it's giving us a sign. It's saying, play Bant. You've opened Doben and Hydroid Crassus. It's time to play Bant. Zurtar Goblin. Gates Ablaze. Syndicate Guildmage. And Plaza of Harmony. There it is. Good old land that just makes a bunch of extra mana and stuff. And a foil, Humongulous. Did you guys see that guy? He was humongulous. What? You heard me. Open. Open says me. Enraged Ceratok. Resolute Watchdog. Azorius Skyguard. And Warrant and Warden, I should say. This card's very good in Limited. Making a 4/4 Vigilant Sphinx is pretty decent. We are a third of the way through the box. Screaming Shield, Windstorm Drake, Sky Tether, and another mythic, Emergency Powers. I haven't seen this card yet, so let's see. Instant. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into the library, then draws 7 cards. Exile Emergency Powers. Addendum. If you cast this spell during your main phase, you may put a permanent card with converted mana cost 7 or less from your hand onto the battlefield. Wow. Alright. Interesting. I'm wondering... So... is the addendum part before or after you draw your cards? Right? Because it says each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library, then draws 7 cards, exile emergency powers. Period. Addendum. If you cast this spell during your main phase, you may put a permanent card with converted mana cost 7 or less from your hand onto the battlefield. I don't know. That's something that I'm curious about. You guys can probably let me know below in the comments. But like maybe I'm just like reading into it too or overthinking it too much. I don't know. It's interesting. I feel like maybe you have the option to do it before or after. We got a Gateway Sneak, Gyre Engineer, Sentinel's Mark, and Thrash and Threat. Another card I haven't seen yet. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you or planeswalker you don't control. Create a 4/4 red and green beast with trample. Interesting. This is very much like Warrant and Warden, I guess. What do we got here? Frilled Mystic. 3/2. With Flash. Essence Capture. Junk Troller. 0/6 Defender. Put it from the graveyard onto the bottom. Interesting. Oh, what's that card that does things with the bottom of your library? Grenzo? Is it Grenzo that does things with the bottom of your library? That's kind of interesting. This card is very good for the Grenzo deck then. Especially since it's an 0/6 Defender too. And our rare is a Waken the Erstwhile. This card was interesting. I opened this in one of my pre-release kits and I was like, this doesn't seem great. Because I think I was playing Orzhov and I was like, I have no draw card mechanic in my Orzhov deck. And so if I draw this late game and play it, I'm going to get like maybe 1, maybe 2 zombies. But my opponent's probably in the same boat. So what's the... I mean, other than just making them discard their cards, I guess. And a foil Tin Street Dodger. So we're up to 2 foils, or 3 foils now. Hey, we got our 4/4 Flying Sphinx token. Sweet. All right. Silhana Wayfinder. Clamor Shaman. Regenesis. And a Benthic Biomancer. 1/1 for 1 with Adapt for 2. And it says whenever 1 or more 1/1 counters are put on Benthic Biomancer, draw a card, then discard a card. And we got a Rakdos Guildgate. With that 2/2 zombie from Awaken the Erstwhile. See, there you go. Got there. High Alert. Good old Arcades deck enchantment, right? Each creature you control assigns combat damage for its toughness rather than its power. Creatures you control can attack as though they don't have Defender. And then you can pay for an untapped target creature. So there you go. Code of Constraint. Combine Guildmage. And Zagana. Utopian Speaker. I remember when Zagana was the Prime Speaker, and it's not her anymore. She's not the Prime Speaker anymore. Interesting. Anyway, 4/4 for 4. When Zagana Utopian Speaker enters battlefield, if you control another creature with a 1/1 counter on it, draw a card, and then you can adapt for 6 for adapt 4, which turns her into an 8/8. And it says each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it has trample. Pretty snazzy. Azorius Guildgate and a Spirit token. Let's keep chugging along here. See if we can't find some more. We haven't found any Shocklands yet. Interesting. Angelic Exaltation. Sphinx of New Prav. Clan Guildmage. And End Raise Forerunners. This card was a lot of fun to play with in the early access event. There was an interesting thing where like one of my opponents was playing this in a standard deck with like the red enchantment, the mirror that flips coins, and it would make copies of this. And like I think it was one turn they played it, and they like made like 2 or 3 copies of this card because they had like 3 or 4 copies of the mirror thing. And then it was just like, oh, by the way, I swing you for like, I think it was like 30 something. And I was like, yeah, all right, that's a thing, I guess. We got a foil Feral Maka with an Azorius Guildgate and a Beast token. Good old beasties. Good old beasties. Sphinx of New Prav, or however you pronounce it. Syndicate Guildmage, Spire Mangler, and Font of Agonies. 1 mana enchantment. Whenever you pay life, put that many blood counters on Font of Agonies. Pay 1 and a black, remove 4 blood counters from Font of Agonies, destroy target creature. Alright. Simic Guildmage and a treasure token. Oh, cool. I didn't realize they put new treasure tokens in this, in the token slot. That's kind of cool. Frilled Mystic. Clear the Stage. Dovin's Acuity. And Lumbering Battlement. 4/5 Vigilance for 5. It says when it enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-token creatures you control until it leaves the battlefield. Lumbering Battlement gets +2/+2 for each card exiled with it. So you basically get to exile the rest of your team, and then they pump up that guy, and then when he dies, your team comes back. It's like get on board, you know. Pitless Pontiff. Tower Defense. Sphinx of the Guild Pact. And Hero of Precinct 1. A card that I wanted to play with all weekend at the pre-release and didn't open any. And I was like, oh, these would be perfect for any kind of like Orzhov sack deck or anything like that. Or even Rakdos sack decks. Seems like a really good card. Trollbred Guardian. 5/5, and it says each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it has trample. So much like the speaker. Utopian speaker. Collision and Colossus. Tin Street Dodger. And Mirror March. Here's that card I was talking about, Mirror March. So whenever a non-token creature enters battlefield under your control, flip a coin until you lose a flip. For each flip you won, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Those tokens gain haste, exile them at the beginning of the next end step. Now, if you create copies of the Endraze Forerunners when they enter the battlefield, they pump your team. So when you play the first one, it pumps nothing because he's there by himself. But then if you have 3 copies of Mirror March in play, you flip 3 coins. If you win any of them, you make a copy. That copy that enters pumps the guy that you played that triggered the mirror. Right? So, yeah. Some crazy stuff going on. Biogenic Upgrade. Gateway Sneak. Cry of the Carnarium. And Precognitive Perception. Little 5-mana instant draw 3 cards. But if you do it on your main phase, you get to scry first. We got a 3/3 Centaur token. All right. See, because like for instance, this addendum says if you cast a spell during your main phase, instead scry 3, then draw 3. So the addendum is like this interesting thing where it's like you addendum generally changes what the card does. In it changes. It'll change from 3 damage to 5 damage, or it changes it from draw 3 to scry 3, then draw 3. Whereas this one just says it doesn't change the initial part of the card. It just gives you a thing that says you can play a card that costs 7, right? Just put it on the battlefield without paying its mana cost, right? But it doesn't say whether it's before or after you draw. So that's why I was confused about it before, and I'm still confused about it now. Gyre Engineer, Smelt Ward Ingus, Swirling Torrent, and Rampage of the Clans. Instant 4 mana. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments for each permanent destroyed this way. Its controller creates a 3/3 green Centaur token. And we've got an Orzhov Guildgate and a Spirit token. Alright. What do we got here? Basilica Bellhaunt, Bankrupt in Blood, Cult Guildmage, and our first Shockland, a Blood Crypt. Yay! Yay! We got there. We finally got there. And we got a foil Biogenic Upgrade. So there you go. How many foils are we at now? 5? We got 5 foils. We got 3 mythics. We don't have a foil rare yet, so we're due for some stuff. I think what are we thinking, like 4 mythics per box? Again, I haven't watched any of them open yet, so I don't know. Gruul Beastmaster, Senate Guildmage, Cry of the Carnarium, and Hallowed Fountain. 2 Shocklands in a row. Two Shocklands in a row. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So those 2 Shocklands were in the top 2 packs of the 3rd row. Just putting that out there. Just putting that out there. Vindicate Vampire, Sunder Shaman, Wall of Thoughts, and Nikia of the Old Ways, and a Rakdos Guildgate with a Human token. What's your name, soldier? Hugh. Man. Biogenic Upgrade. Windstorm Drake. Gates Ablaze. And Ethereal Absolution. This card's great. I like this card a lot. Who doesn't like to, you know, make your opponent's board state worse and make yours better? And then also have a way to generate tokens for 4 mana. And not just any tokens, flying tokens. Rhythm of the Wild. Orzhov Enforcer. Incubation Incongruity. And Rixmati Reveler. With a Growl Guild Gate. So we only hit 2 Shocklands? It's kind of, it seems low. I don't know. I mean, maybe how many Shocklands do you think we get per box? Archwing Angel, or Archway Angel, I should say. Dagger Caster, Wilderness Reclamation, and Absorb. Absorb. This is a reprint. I think Absorb was printed a while back. A long time ago, I believe. One of the original Ravnica boxes, or Ravnica sets. Or was it Return to Ravnica that Absorb was printed in? No, I think Absorb was printed farther back than that. I want to say that it was. Eyes Everywhere. Senate Guildmage. Rumbling Ruin. And Bedevil. Very good removal spell, because it can blow up artifacts, creatures, or planeswalkers. And we got our foil rare. Sphinx of Foresight. There it is. Our foil rare. In with a mythic pile for now. Alright, I think we're still short a mythic, and I think we're still short a Shockland, personally. Now, I mean, maybe that's just me having high hopes. I've got high hopes. Sorry. Hack Robat. Good old Hack Robat. Rally to Battle. Macabre Mockery. Or Macabre Mockery. However you want to pronounce it. And our rare. Hey, another mythic. Told you. Told you. Seraph of the Scales. I'll take it. I don't know where that's sitting price-wise, but it's a sweet card. 4/3 for 4. Seems pretty good, especially since it has flying. And then it also has Vigilance for 1 white or Death Touch for 1 black. And then if it dies, it gives you 2 1/1s. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. The only issue, I think, with it is that because it has 4 power, and they printed the 3 mana... exile a creature with 4 power or greater. That's the only issue that angel has, because if it gets exiled, it doesn't make the 1/1s. Dagger Caster, Bloodmist Infiltrator, Code of Constraint, and our rare is a Revel or Revenge, or Revival. Revival or Revenge. So return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, or double your life total. Target opponent loses half their life rounded up. And we did get another foil, Justicar's Portal. Alright, we got 3 packs left. Can we find another Shockland? If we find another Shockland, I think we're about average for the box. Right? Because I think that's like 3 Shocklands and 4 Mythics is probably about right. Archway Angel, Mortify, Tin Street Dodger, and Breeding Pool. Got there. We got there. See? I said, you know, 3 and 4 seems like... probably the average numbers. That's just what I'm thinking. Now, I mean, like, that's obviously, you know, I haven't opened any boxes. This is the first box I've opened, so who knows. We got a Miscreant of Obligation, Consecrate and Consume, Drill Bit, good old Drill Bit, and Simic Ascendancy. There you go. Little 2 mana enchantment. That for 3 you can put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever 1 or more counters is put onto a creature you control, put that many growth counters on Simic Ascendancy. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Simic Ascendancy has 20 or more growth counters on it, you win the game. Alright, last pack, everybody. Last pack. What do we think? Is it holding out a Mythic for us? Or is it holding out another Shockland? Could be. Could be. High Alert. Combine Guildmage, Wilderness Reclamation, and Glass of the Guild Pact. Well, there you go. Little 2 mana multicolored creatures get +1/+1. Azorius Guildgate and a Goblin token. So I think our number of foils was kind of low too. Like we only ended up with 7, one of them being the rare, right? That seems, I mean, I guess that's about average, but it seems low to me. Now, maybe that's because in the last Ravnica box, we were seeing like 9 and 10 foils per box. We had a couple boxes that were like really low on foils, like 5 or 6. But most of them ended up with like somewhere between 8 to 10 foils, which is one higher than the number of foils we got here on average, right? So I think our foils is a little bit low, but maybe this is one of the low foil boxes. It's possible. But we did hit some pretty sweet mythics. Like we hit a Dovin and a Hydrocrassus. And we hit a Seraph of the Scales, which I'm not going to complain about. It seems pretty decent. I don't know where Seraph of the Scales falls. Oh, there it is. It's like in the $8 range. And we hit we hit 2 of the top 3 Shocklands, which is Blood Crypt and Breeding Pool. $9 and $8 respectively. Dovin's sitting at 12. Crassus is 15. So Emergency Powers is really the only one that I don't know where it's falling. $3. Sitting in the $3 range, right? Then we hit Absorb, which was $2. We hit Priest, which is $2. We didn't hit any of these. We hit those uncommons. We hit the Hero, which is $3. We hit the Reveler, which is $3. We hit Deputy, which is $3. Pestilent Spirit is $3. We hit Foil Sphinx of Foresight, so that's not terrible. What else did we hit? We didn't hit that or that or that. We didn't hit that or that. We didn't hit those. Did we get the Growth Chamber? We got the Growth Chamber, so $6 there. We hit the Bedevil, that's $7. We hit Electro Dominance, right? That's $7 as well, $8. And then we hit the Hallowed Fountain, which is $8. So there you go. Oh, so Breeding Pool and Hallowed Fountain are the $8. So we only missed the Stomping Ground, which was the other more expensive Shockland, but only by $1. So that's not terrible. And the other things that we miss on the top end are just the mythics, which is fine. I mean, you're not going to hit all the top end mythics in a box anyway. But the fact that we hit a 15, a 12, and an 8, was it 8? Yeah. We hit a 15, a 12, and an 8 for our mythics, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. It could have been worse. There's a lot of low end mythics in these sets as well. By the looks of things, like Rakdos is only 3, Emergency Powers is only 3, Ravager Worm's only 3, Mesmerizing Benthid is only 3. Captive Audience is only 2. So yeah, and these are all pre-release prices. The prices will move around a bunch probably, right? This is Friday. The set should have just come out today. Let's wait and see what prices and things do before we talk about them anymore, right? Because I mean, they're going to change a whole bunch over the next little while. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I've been your host, MrBevers. I know this has been probably a little bit of a long haul here. First box of Ravnica Allegiance opened. I think we did pretty well. I thought this box was pretty good. It wasn't, crazy amazing, but it was pretty good. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I've been your host, MrBevers. Don't forget, if you want to help the channel out with a monetary value, I do have a Patreon where you can go do so. Any money you chip my way would be greatly appreciated. If you can't chip any my way, don't even worry about it. Thank you for just watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And as always, may your pulls ever be better.